Welcome to LeRoc TV. I'm your host for Inside the Green Mind, and today on the show, I'm so excited for my guest, Megan Hunt. How are you, Megan?
Hi, I'm good, Marco. Thank you.
Good to have you on the show.
Yeah, thank you for speaking to me today.
Yeah. So who is Megan Hunt, actually? Because I know they have a lot of title, and so tell us a little bit about yourself.
That is a really good question. Because I mean, I can talk about what I do, but that's not really talking about who I am. So that's a good question. I am an entrepreneur. Okay. I'm a small business owner and a small business champion, particularly for women. I really like to work with women who want to start businesses and give them the mentorship and resources they need to do that. So that's something I've been doing in Omaha for about 13 years, since I started my first company in 2005.
And what was your first company?
It was called Princess Lasertron.
But Princess Lasertron. I know, it was a long time ago. That's kind of cool name, though. I like it.
Thank you. The URL was available, so I'll say that. It was a wedding dress design company and bouquet design company, and we worked with about 400 brides a year. And eventually I grew that company to have a staff of 9. And at that time I started a co-working space in North Downtown Omaha. And then a couple years later, I stopped doing that to focus on Hello Holiday, which is where we are today, yes, in the showroom for Hello Holiday. So we moved here about 3 years ago to Dundee. And here we have our showroom. It's our first brick and mortar location. We're primarily an online business. And so this is where customers can come and shop all of the clothing that we find and source from independent fashion designers from all over the world. So we're really excited that we can finally have a physical venue where our customers
can come and experience the clothes.
Right, and try them on and see the quality and understand why we back these designers and why we want these women that we work with to be able to distribute their clothes through us.
Cool. So you're the co-founder for Hello Holiday, and I'm already interested by that name, Hello Holiday. Why do you guys come with that name? How?
So if I'm being honest, the way we came up with Hello Holiday, I run this company with my business partner, Sarah Lorsung-Tverdik. She is also an entrepreneur. She's a mother like me. She's a very ambitious, very smart person. And when we started the company in 2012, we actually got together at the Dundee Dell, right across the street here. Okay. Had a couple cocktails, and I think that really got the creative juices flowing for us. And we were just really kind of brainstorming names that would embody the feel that we wanted the brand to have. So we were writing down a lot of words, and we settled on Hello Holiday because we wanted to convey kind of like the friendliness and the approachability and the accessibility that we want to bring to fashion. And we think that fashion can be something in your everyday life that can make your day a little bit more festive, a little bit more celebratory, that can lift you up a little bit. And so that's what we think the role of fashion is. I think in an industry that can sometimes be so pretentious, using fashion in a positive way and kind of conveying that type of message, it's really important to both of us because we have a lot of fun dressing. It is also important to say that not all women have that experience because not all women can find their size in the kind of clothes that they want to wear. So from the very beginning of our founding, Sarah and I have had a focus on extended sizes, on plus sizes, and now we work with designers to offer clothing in sizes extra, extra small. We have some very petite women who are customers and they also have trouble finding sizes, but then all the way up to 4 and sometimes 5X. So for women, I can't imagine what it's like to just not even be able to find the clothes to convey the way you want to look. I mean, you're obviously like a very sharp guy.
Thank you.
You get dressed in the morning and you put on your clothes on purpose. You put these things on for a reason because you're conveying something to the world about who you are. I think that that's normal and I think that that's great. And if people want to use their fashion to express something about themselves, that's very fun and important, and I want everybody to be able to do that if they want to. The problem is when you just can't do that because we are in a very exclusive industry that doesn't support all types of women and all types of people. So that's something at Hello Holiday, to make fashion more celebratory and accessible to all women is important to us.
So, so kind of like your model is based on working with designers. Is that's how your business model is built on?
That's right. We find most of our, it's kind of interesting, we find most of our designers through social media. So like behind us, we've got some of them that we carry here. And we find a lot of these designers from like Instagram, Tumblr, Facebook, because we look at the women who we admire, their style, and see what they're wearing. And oftentimes it's like, oh yeah, my friend makes these jumpsuits. Oh yeah, my friend makes these bags. My friend designs these patches. Then we're like, who the hell is your friend? Like, I want to meet this woman. She's
I don't know who she is, right?
Yeah, and so then we make friends with these people and we get to know them. And it really is like a very intimate, very personal relationship that we're able to then bring to the customer. Yeah.
So it looks like you and Sarah are great partners. As far as you know, having a partner in business is very important. What are your tips for others, entrepreneurs out there who are seeking partners? What they need to know so they can have effective partnership within the companies?
So Hello Holiday is the first company out of 3 that I've run with a partner. And I'm kind of a lone wolf. I've always been very like self-sufficient. I don't want anyone to help me.
Lone wolf.
Yeah, well, you know, like you can't be that way in life, so it's hard. But Sarah, my partner, and I are very complementary. Like, she loves to be in front of customers. I like to be behind the scenes. But at other times, like, I like to do press stuff, and she likes to do more like creative direction type stuff that I'm not really good at and I don't really love doing. So we really kind of fill each other's strengths and complement them with, you know, the other person's strengths. And I think that's very important. So we started this business by accident. Like, neither of us was looking for a partner really when we started the company.
It doesn't look like what I'm looking here. Doesn't look like by accident. It looks like it's well planned.
Well, now we've been here almost 6 years,
Okay.
and so
That makes sense.
Yeah, we've had a lot of time to develop our strategy, but when we met each other and started working together, it really was just a click immediately. We completely got along. We were totally in sync, and it was just that complementary nature that we felt right away. I was in my co-working space that I run. I was there very late at night. She came in like midnight, 1 a.m. to borrow an industrial steamer that I have because she was steaming a dress for a music video. She's a stylist. And we just got to talking about what was next for us. And she wanted to start a clothing company, and I said, that sounds really fun. I want to do something different too. About a week later, I had a business plan written. She had never started a business, and so it was my experience in entrepreneurship and her vision and her creative.
Putting together.
Right. And I think that maybe if I had a tip, it would be to really do a self-inventory and really search yourself and be very honest with yourself. You have to be a bit brutal because we all want to be the best at everything. Yes. But ask yourself honestly, what are my limitations? Where do I need someone to pick up the slack a little bit? And who do I know in my community, in my network, who I have something to learn from? And then if you've got your idea, pitch it to them. Pitch it to them. You lose nothing by doing that. If they can't help you, maybe they can connect you to someone who can. The more the word spreads that you've got this great idea and folks are out here trying to help you find support to make it a reality. I think Nebraska is actually a very fertile place to do that. We have a lot of great minds here. We have a lot of support in our infrastructure and in our community for entrepreneurship. And we have a very open community, we have a very open networking resource here. Like the Chamber does a lot, the AIM Institute does a lot. There's so many different groups in our state that helps bring folks together who are entrepreneurial minded. So take advantage of those resources and you will find your people.
So what is the single most influential factor in your business success?
I think it's the way that we have leveraged social media to reach our customers.
Social media?
We run the business on social media. We don't pay for advertising.
Okay.
I'm a bit against it, in fact.
Why?
I don't want to pay for advertising because I really like the challenge of building a business on organic customer recommendations, on word of mouth. I think that that's it, and that works for my business. Like, that might not work for what everybody's trying to do, but I mean, I run a clothing company that serves customers who are young, who are technologically proficient. And now that we have this brick and mortar store, you know, we're serving other people in our community too, who find us, you know, by walking down the sidewalk or whatever. But I really like word of mouth because I think that's the most authentic, organic endorsement that you can give a company is, where'd you get that? I got it at Hello Holiday. And now we've got someone coming in here to see what it's all about. We also do a lot of like neighborhood events and stuff like that. We'll get tables and do pop-up shops. We've done several all over the country actually, but in Omaha we do a lot. But we have a very awesome creative team here at Hello Holiday that does our social media, that does our Instagram. And I believe it's accurate that we get most of our sales through Instagram, actually.
Powerful tool.
It's a powerful tool, and it's so visual, and it's so shareable, and you can create content that is so inspiring and shareable that it does the work for you in terms of advertising and marketing, because people love it and it's beautiful. And sometimes I think the meaning of life is to look at beautiful things and laugh at jokes. And so we just try to like be ourselves and be authentic and make genuine connections with the people who could be our customers.
So you are running for political office. Why? Why now?
I like just the question why, because that's a great question too. So I'm a candidate for the legislature here in Nebraska in District 8. I decided to run about 2 years ago for a couple reasons, and I'll try to make it short. I know it can be a little long-winded.
Because you're so passionate about it, is that why?
I am, yes, I can talk about it all day.
I understand.
But I know we don't have all day. But first, I've always been a very huge progressive advocate and activist, and I started seeing a lot of people around me burning out and quitting and getting cynical and giving up, and that makes me so bummed. It makes me so sad, because when we have kind of an oppressive system that doesn't really prioritize the specific needs of women, of people of color, of people from different socioeconomic backgrounds, if we get burned out fighting back against that, they win every time. And so I think that we really need to get some wins. We really need some champions for these people in our lawmaking system, because activism is great, being in rallies is great, protests, donating to nonprofits, supporting causes you care about. These are all very important pieces of the puzzle. But I've, again, looked at my skills and my strengths, and I've concluded that running for office is probably the best way for me to leverage those to help support the causes that I care about. And I watch the legislature every day. I've done it for years, and I can't see the people down there in the State House and say to myself, well, I couldn't do that. I can't watch that every day and say, I could never do what they do. And so a couple years ago, I started doing some research to figure out if I understood the job, if I could commit to the job, if I wanted to do the job. And then also speaking to constituents and neighbors to see if there would be support for my candidacy. And I've been very encouraged. There's a lot of enthusiasm for my candidacy. And so in June, I announced, and now we're off, for 2018.
Wow.
Megan Hunt, yep.
I'll say congratulations to you for that, taking the courage, to run. So if you have to have lunch with anyone alive or from the history, who would that be, for instance?
This is a fantastic question. I wish that I had been prepared for this question, because I feel
I want to be prepared.
This is one of those questions where like later I'll be like, oh, that's what I should have said. But what occurs to me, I would love to have lunch with Franz Kafka.
Kafka.
Yeah, I think he's a wonderful author, and he's was a very interesting, intelligent person. But from now, I would really love to have lunch with Hillary Rodham Clinton. Okay. And I would just love to give her a hug. I would love to tell her how much she has inspired me throughout my entire life as a woman who sacrificed so much and did everything right, to the best of her ability to make this a better place for everybody. And that the way the 2016 election turned out was a political loss for Democrats, but it was not a loss overall for women. It was not a loss overall for people of color and people in this country, because, well, she's inspired so many people to run for office. But also just the legacy that she's left in her whole life of being an example of a woman in power, where I have never seen that before. People say you can't be what you can't see. And I think that that's why we need more representation in politics of people from the LGBT community, people of different colors, people of different backgrounds. But I had never seen a woman in my life be so ambitious and so strategic and so smart about championing the causes she believes in. And so I would love to thank her for that in person.
What would be your last advice to my viewers?
If I had to give some advice, what I think is very important when you are embarking on an ambitious project, whether it's entrepreneurship, whether it's a new career, whether it's pursuing some more education, whatever it is that you are on the precipice of doing, you have to be very honest and very brave, and you cannot wait for an excuse to finally do it. You can't wait for the right outfit. You can't wait for the right office. You can't wait, till you get everything quite exactly ready, because there's never going to be a perfect time to start. The perfect time to start is yesterday. That's my opinion. Because even if you prepare as much as possible, no matter how much you prepare, there's always going to be things you forget, and you're always going to be improving along the way. So you're never going to know less than you did on day one. But until you get to day one, you're never going to learn more. So don't worry about it being perfect. You just have to start. That's my advice.
Awesome. Megan, thank you so much for your time.
Marco, thank you for coming in here. It means a lot to me.